Hey, welcome to Bible Tech. You have to have a decent amount of... It's so easy, anybody can use it. Get a few comments. Somehow fly one of these. You don't see a hobby. And if you want to rewind or fascinating. Hey everybody, welcome back to Bible Tech's live questions and answers for all of your technology questions. If you're new to the channel, well, I technically can, give some quasi pseudo tech support. Usually it's about educating you on how to resolve your own problems and continue to feel more comfortable with your technology in more general terms. And I go into more detail on my other videos as opposed to the live streams. And right now I am just tweaking some live stream settings and we'll get started. Feel free to ask all your questions in the chat right over here. And until I start to get questions, I will just do my thing. I have some other questions I've answered throughout the week online on various forums. And we'll be going over those until I get more live questions. Currently, I don't really have enough of a subscriber base to get enough live questions to entirely substantiate these live streams on those. That's fine. If you notice I look a little bit more disheveled than usual, it's because I totally forgot about doing a live stream on Wednesdays today. Today was just kind of a stressful day. And that's fine. Things happen. And good stuff wise, I've been managing to exercise daily, which is an improvement for me. I have a disability that makes it a little difficult to do normal exercisey things. Including my favorite one, which was swimming and or kayaking. But that's okay. I've been walking, and thank God I can walk. I'm happy for that, after multiple surgeries anyway. And I found in my parents' garage, I found a walking stick that I kind of carved or whittled away as a kid, and I'm very happy about that. But let's get on to the technology. Let me go ahead and close out some stuff I don't need here. I pull up some questions that I've gotten in YouTube Studio. Talk about some Reddit stuff. Alrighty. Let's pop over there. Okay, good. It's working. Fantastic. Alright, so I'm pretty happy about this. I feel like I'm starting to get a hang for YouTube videos that people actually like. So, that's cool. Who doesn't like that? It seems like people just want quick question and answer how to fix it videos in like under 2 minutes. I can do that. That's okay. Until I gain more of an audience anyway. Alright, so let's go to comments. Let's go to... I have responded. Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit here so y'all can see this alright. I don't know how much that actually helps you, but hopefully some. Alright, so I got this question from Anjali Shivakumar. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Sorry if not, I tried. A person says, hello sir, I lost my phone 6 months back. I got the new phone, but I want my last year of my baby photos. Please help me, tell me a solution. I felt really bad for this guy, because I've had children and myself, and to lose those pictures would be tough. And we don't... It's funny how pervasive technology can get in our lives, and we don't really think about backing things up. Right? People are just like, oh, well, this is how I take pictures now. And they just never think about backing it up. And, yeah, and that probably is why my biggest video on my channel is how to download all your photos and videos from Google Photos, which is effectively a backup solution that's free. And I think that's because people are starting to realize, hey, I need to back stuff up, and or I want to get off of Google services. So I respond to the fellow, if you've never enabled backup intentionally, I'm afraid they're gone. My condolences. This is where my old tech support brain thing kicks in that says, okay, the client doesn't really know what they've done, or else they wouldn't be asking the question. So I'm going to go on a limb for their sake and say, hey, there's a chance, I just get this nagging feeling, that they did enable at some point, or maybe one of their family members enabled it for them, and they don't know how to access it. What I've seen a lot is people will create a new account for every phone they have, and it's insane, because you're actually purchasing stuff under each account, and you think you have to like rebuy apps and whatever, which is not the case at all. If you have a Google account or an Apple account and you have an Android or an iPhone respectively, those purchases always stay with you as long as those apps are compatible with the device you have. And some companies don't, update their apps with the new phones as you get them, but that's the case. I mean, you don't have to rebuy stuff. And people just create new passwords. I know someone. I'm sorry if she's listening to this. Still love you, Sandra. That she didn't intentionally create a new account at all. She was looking for somebody on Facebook, and Facebook prompted her to log into her Facebook account, and she thought it was asking for, I guess, further search terms or something like that. So she typed in the person's name, and then she thought she had to log in, but she forgot her password, and she thought it was a reset password, and the combination of those three things. So what she ended up accidentally doing was creating a Facebook account and using it for months, if not years, on her iPad with the name of the person that she was searching for, and she was using that unintentionally for a long, long time. On her iPhone, she had her appropriate Facebook account that she had only logged into once. You set it and forget it, right? She didn't realize until, months into using this account that she was effectively accidentally masquerading as this person who actually didn't exist on Facebook. So the biggest thing in the way we use technology today, our computers are effectively what we call dumb terminals. They're terminals into the internet, and they allow us to access a bunch of different services, usually via logins, and those logins hold our information, and the information is no longer stored on our computer unless we make a conscious effort to make them, to use offline applications and store things on our computer, such as using LibreOffice instead of Google Drive and Microsoft's OneDrive. You have to make an intentional move to use software that stores things on your computer exclusively, and then you have to back it up intentionally. Otherwise, all this stuff is on essentially someone else's computers, on Google's computers, it's on Microsoft's computers, it's on their servers, right? Their websites. And losing those logins means you lose, effectively, all your files. So please use something like Bitwarden, bitwarden.com. It's free, again, another login, right? But it'll essentially make it so you only have to have one login for all of your stuff, right? So you'll be able to type in your master password, and then you'll have access to all your other passwords, and it can automatically log you into those other accounts without knowing their passwords explicitly. You just have to remember effectively one for your own personal stuff. Now at work, if you use computers at work in an administrative type position, you're gonna likely have other things, other passwords that you're gonna have to change repeatedly, but at least that's not the case for your personal life, right? You don't have to go through the constant password reset nonsense that so many people are seemingly content with, or using sticky notes they put under their keyboard or under a book or in the drawer nearest their keyboard. These are very common ways of storing passwords, and they're sufficient. But if you can wrap your head around a password manager like Bitwarden or KeePass XC, or, dare I say it, RoboForm my dad uses, all of these things are probably better, right? Unless you are really happy with your little notebook, and that's totally fine, right? Having them offline is technically the safest way to store your passwords on a piece of paper. However, it is only safe from hackers, right? It's not safe from people who break into your house. It's not safe from house fires, things like that. So, Bitwarden is probably the way to go for 90% of people. Why Bitwarden over something like Dashlane or LastPass or 1Password? Because Bitwarden is open source, it is free, and you have the option to migrate it to your own system, so it's not actually stored anywhere but your own stuff. I don't see how you can get any better. It's a perfect marriage of centralization and decentralization when a company gives you an option to host your own thing, if you are technically skilled enough, or if you have someone in your family who's technically skilled enough, like a son, a husband, a sister, or a daughter, or a wife, or whatever. So, yay. Alright, so remember your logins, get a password manager. That's the rule for today. And I've been live streaming for 12 minutes so far. Alright, so let's see here. Okay, so I was responding. I was talking to somebody, and this is more of a joke than anything else. I was talking to somebody, some people, about how Linux, the KDE Plasma desktop, looks kind of like Mac OS and whatever. And I said I actually thought Apple in this last Big Sur update copied KDE Plasma as opposed to the other way around. And I was surprised how many points that got. It really does look like KDE Plasma more than the other way around, in my opinion. Alright, so let's sort a tech support forum by new and see what we got. Okay, so somebody's asking about transferring games to an SD card. I don't know anything about that off the top of my head. Gotta figure it out, yeah. Oh, that's not what this live stream is for. Let's see what we got. Okay, so somebody is saying their gaming computer randomly reboots mid-game. That's just 5 minutes ago. So they say, I built my gaming computer about 5 years ago. Build posted below. Recently I've noticed the GPU intensive games have been causing a computer crash, aka every game that's heavy or expensive stuff. While lowering the resolution often fixes the issue, it reboots a few times an evening during Call of Duty Warzone game. That's my addiction right now. I love that game so much. And randomly with the Resident Evil 2 remake, about 6 months ago I started overclocking the GPU, but now reverted it and I'm still having issues. A month ago, I started noticing a cord obstructing one of the 2 GPU fans. Oh my god. Now I'm obstructed and I'm still having issues. I've already messed up the GPU by running for so long without both fans working. Yes. Yes, you did. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh man. And this guy has a very similar processor to my last one. And this is not a bad computer, even though it's older. It's from around 2014, 2015, motherboard and processor-wise. It was a good year. I actually have that computer sitting right over here behind me. And the Destination Linux logo on it. Destination Linux is a great podcast if you're into Linux and open source and decentralization. Okay, so yeah. Oh man. That is funny. He almost has he has a very similar card to the one I had too, the graphics card. That's weird. Okay. So I'm gonna say, well, the best test is effectively just having another GPU. Okay. Say my monitor keeps going blank for a second about every 30 minutes. My monitor will go blank for about 2 seconds when I'm my second monitor. Just put the computer and this started happening afterwards. Okay. This person is saying the monitor keeps going blank for a second. I say check all cables, try a different outlet. So somebody bought a crappy computer. Oh no. So I'm telling this person it sounds like hardware. Going to try to direct them at my website, just because I genuinely think it's helpful and I don't get anything out of it really. Speaking of my website, which is probably going to get me kicked off the tech support sub, even though I'm just trying to help people, but Reddit be like that sometimes. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'd rather not. So speaking of the website, I am doing a ton of updates on it. The free stuff page is now separated into... Oh, gotta refresh the page. Whoop, there it is. I now have at the top cross-platform. So at the top, all the applications are ones that can be used on at least multiple different operating systems. I'm still editing it. Like, for instance, this... Boomerang themes, and there's a video editor in here somewhere that doesn't work on some multiple things. That's got to move down to a Linux only section. But I'm going to separate it into cross-platform with software that works on everything. I've updated some links, fixed some broken ones, and I have a Windows only section. I think that one actually is complete now. It's all just Windows only down here, and it's just cleaner. And I'm going to have eventually like a Mac OS section. The biggest problem with Mac software, iPhone software, is it seems like any decent app is a paid app, and I think that's because of Apple's developer license fees and stuff like that. No other platform has developer license fees like that, right? Now, not that I know of anyway. I'm not a developer, so maybe I shouldn't talk. But the other thing I have on the website here, let me just turn off my own ad blocker, is this little subscribe button for my YouTube channel. I can't believe that I didn't think of this sooner. I've gotten like 30 subs since I did it, and that's about the pace my sub count usually was at anyway, but it seems like it's going up at least a little faster. And I think that may have what kicked me over to 500 subs. So I think I've gotten like 4 subs today or something. But, oh, nice. I should mention this. I added so many resources here so many resources to the education top resources, and also I added one to community. I removed one as well. The Destination Linux Network I added. That's a new thing from the Destination Linux podcast, folks, which is my favorite technology podcast, by the way. I'm not going to lie. They do an excellent job just talking about technology and not talking about politics or anything. And I just need to get away from everything, right? I just want to talk about my hobbies and think about my hobbies, and Destination Linux is awesome for that, guys. Please never change. Please. Everything. I can't do it anymore. Alright, so these guys are awesome. Destination Linux Podcast, they have Discord, they have Mumble, they have Discourse, they have Telegram. I mean, they have everything. So it's really just a general open source enthusiast type thing. You don't even necessarily have to be running Linux as long as you're talking about open source stuff and Raspberry Pis and Python and stuff. But there's just a ton of education on my free resource page, and I feel like a broken record that I continue mentioning it, because, or not just a broken record, I feel like one of those scammy advertising campaigns that pretends they're going to have a seminar, and you join the seminar, and you're going to get rich. It sounds like an MLM or something, but it's not. I just made this website for myself years ago. Something like, let me see, like 12 years ago. I made what became this website, and I made it for myself, right? I copied it, some of it, from some work that somebody else did with their permission, and I just started adding to it and updating it because they weren't interested in adding to it or updating it anymore. And it's totally different now. I don't even know if any of it is even the same. I mean, I think the only thing that I have from the old thing, which is pretty pointless because nobody uses it anymore, is the Kelly's Corner XP registry fixes. And maybe the Print Spooler reset tool, some Windows XP legacy stuff. I'm not even sure if these links still work. I kind of doubt it. Well, let's see. We're going down the internet path here. Disable some ads here. Oh, nope, that's a bad idea. Yeah, I gotta kill that link right now. Too bad. It was beautiful. Yeah, let's see. One thing I hate about Google sites or Google accounts in general is I have like 4 of them, and bouncing back and forth between them is just an ugly experience. I really don't like getting out of bed. Okay. Because every time you do it, it can potentially change other things. I mean, heck, I could have accidentally ended my live stream right now. What is this nonsense? This is not what I want at all. Something's missing. Oh, yep, see, and this is exactly my point. I didn't even log me into the right account. That's great. I was like, why is that on my old website? Alright, fantastic. So we're back on the page. I'll do some website editing on the fly here, because reasons, right? Okay, so let's take off this Kelly Corners thing. Yeah, I'm going to take off the Driver's Mags thing. We have something better than that now anyway. Oh, that almost certainly is a dead link. Let's see. If this works, I'm going to be shocked. Oh, man. Yeah, there ain't nothing there, man. There ain't nothing. I gotta fix some of these links. But the stuff in the main section that is in advanced tools should be mostly fine. And if anybody is watching this and they are in with the DL guys, Destination Linux, let them know that I emailed them and I want to be a part of their network of shows. Even though my show is trash, relatively speaking, compared to theirs. Michael, man, all those OBS scenes. Beautiful. Yeah, I still think I could have some of my stuff, and especially my website is a valuable resource. So hey, what do you know? All right, let's go see if there's any other questions I can answer for people. Let's see. Let's sort by new, and I think we're gonna be done in a few minutes. Not really getting any questions anyway. Wow, people are all over this crap. Okay, so 24-hour tech support. Okay, we're gonna go to the Linux for Noob sub here. Okay, man, I feel bad for this guy. He says I'm running a Ubuntu 2004 on a Lenovo IdeaPad 300 Pentium, so I feel bad for him. Not as bad as it used to be, but it's bad. 1.6 gigahertz, 8 gigs RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. I doubt that's a decent SSD. Which I use mainly for studying and browsing the web. It gets really slow at times because it's a Pentium. Why did you buy that? And for those who are saying, well, you know, that's classist or whatever. No, it's not. If you buy a used computer that was decently high-end when it came out, even as long ago as 8 years ago at this point, you can literally get an 8-year-old high-end computer that was high-end then, and you know they would cost about $1,000 then. You can get that now for like $200-$300, the same amount as a budget brand new computer. It's gonna be like twice as fast as a budget new computer. One of those cloud books or slim books or whatever, the stream books. Trash, man. I don't. That's entirely what my biggest part of my website right now is about. Is the ThinkPad page, which still nets 2.2 thousand views per month, approximately. No, not views. It's like 3,000 views there. It's 2.2 thousand individual users, according to Google, anyway. Okay, so they're saying I believe it has to do with the DE, but I may be wrong. As a way of improving performance, I was thinking of switching to LXDE, and this is all Linux stuff. If you don't know it, don't bother. Will this make my laptop feel faster, improve battery life, or something evident changed from normal aside from looking totally different? I read the key exam, for example, it's not recommended for newbies. Why is this, and what do they mean by this, and is this so with LXD? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. actually am going to put my own website in this one because it's genuinely helpful, whereas the other one maybe not. Yes, there still does take a little bit of thinking with the guide, and the other person wasn't using Linux or anything. They just wanted little games, right? This person's already using Linux. I think they'd buy something on eBay. Actually, I'm also going to recommend okay. So sorry about that. I really had to write that up before I forgot what I was doing here. Yeah, so they were asking if changing a D would be better in Linux for speed reasons on a budget computer. And is even buying a budget computer is not an investment. Please don't do it. Buy an older computer. If you don't know how to do that, go to my website. It is below me right now. Bubble.tech. Not .com. .tech. But anyway, they said, they were looking into different desktop environments for Linux and whether or not that would speed up their experience on a crappy computer. My answer was, hi, well, you can just change the desktop environment on Linux. It can cause issues. I recommend trying a distro that comes by default with the desired desktop environment. And then some issues can happen is there'll be overlaps in settings. So you'll see settings for one desktop environment while you're using the other. It's just don't do it. It doesn't work unless you're using Arch, in which case you already know what you're doing. And the configuration isn't so hard-baked. As far as desktop environment speed goes, they're really not all that different from each other, but GNOME is undoubtedly the worst vendor, and that's just the case. It is the worst. Okay, GNOME is great if you have a proper workstation that's compatible and everything, and actually, it's ironic because I feel like GNOME, because of its overview button with the super meta key, has probably my favorite workflow of any DE. The problem is their default applications and the way their plugins work and the way that you need plugins just to do basic things like changing themes, or you need a GNOME tweak tool to just have your maximize and minimize buttons. Yeah, I'm sorry, that is dumb. It is a very bad design decision, and it is extremely frustrating. Like, they have one hot corner in GNOME. No way to change it. And I don't even know if you can disable it and enable it without a third-party piece of software. Absolutely insane. And if you want to change that hot corner, you have to use another third-party plugin that may or may not work well. And I've been through this. I used GNOME for, the last year or so before I switched to Cinnamon again. Cinnamon and XFCE have long been my fallbacks because they just typically work. Mint had a bad Cinnamon month or two where there was just terrible performance issues, but they fixed that, and it's great now. It's actually better than ever. Performance-wise, I would argue it's actually feels as fast as KDE Plasma, if not faster. Albeit not as shiny, but I do prefer the GTK-based desktop environments and window managers because I feel like their visual consistency is much better, and I like the way their elements are spaced better. KDE Plasma, and their iconography is so much better. But anyway, GNOME, please get your stuff together. Stop doing dumb stuff. Fix Nautilus. Just fix it. it's missing so many features. Just stop. My favorite feature of which is just typing and being able to pull up files. in the directory that I'm in, exclusively in the directory that I'm in, so for navigation purposes, not for stretching my whole system slowly. Ugh. Stop it. On the other hand, Cinnamon and KDE Plasma, please just implement the Gnomian overview feature, and then GNOME will just die off and everybody's will be happy again. And why does anybody use Mate? Why? I mean, Mate is just in my experience, a glitchier version of XFCE at this point. And XFCE is solid as anything, so... Oh boy. Whatever, the desktop environment wars wage on, right? Budgie has a good chance of becoming something, but they still don't have an expose-like feature baked in, so I don't know, man, whatever. And then all the desktop environments should have a trackpad gesture, for workspaces and expose, right now, built in, and also proper mouse speed and scroll wheel settings. The basics, guys, the basics. Alright, so I recommended using a distro that has a faster DE built in as opposed to changing DEs. I recommend trying Kubuntu because that was recommended to me by a KDE Plasma dev. And Solus KDE, which is a rolling release distro but isn't glitchy enough to recommend people away from. It's also one of the fastest distro bases out there. I think they use some sort of weird Intel Clear Linux custom kernel. Ike Doherty, the guy who works on the Clear Linux team for Intel, it was his pet project until he left for familial reasons, I'd assume. And Solus KDE is probably end-to-end the fastest distro you can use, and also one of the most polished, at least from what I've heard. I am primarily familiar with Solus from their Budgie desktop environment, but given the KDE Plasma is pretty polished, I'm not a huge fan of some of their UI decisions, and it's also known to be the fastest DE and the most customizable. Hey, not bad, right? Solus KDE is probably a top distro of choice that gets overlooked way too often, and I also recommend Linux Mint Cinnamon. I've heard some people have some bugs with it, but the only people I've seen that have bugs with it so far that I know of are people upgrading before there's even technically a proper way to upgrade, which is kind of half-baked of the Mint team, I guess, in a way. But you can't really blame them, because still Linux Mint is probably the easiest, most concise, cohesive distro available, if not best OS, all around. So props to the Mint team. And I said not much different besides looks. KDE Plasma just has a lot of options. It's fine. It's technically fast D. If you're looking for a budget but better computers in the future, try this guide, which is my ThinkPad guide. Okay. Well, this has been going on for 39 minutes. I'm just rambling at this point because I'm tired. I need to take a shower and stuff after exercising so much. Let's see, did somebody respond? Yeah, no, not really. Okay. Well, it has been fun, folks. I hope you send me your questions. Just go to my website down below me. And what you will see is, when you get to my website, an email address. Email addresses are good. Who doesn't like email addresses? Nice and simple. Robbie@babel.tech. Just click that link. It should open up in your email client. You send me an email with your questions. I respond. To this date, I have only really gotten 2 questions, technically, via this method, but it is by far the most universally accessible method, so there you go, right? Nice. Okay, well, I will see you guys next time. Hey, welcome to Babel Tech. You have to have a decent amount of